So if you buy a home, it's not just the mortgage, right? It's the taxes on the home. It's the HOA if you're in a community, right? It is the maintenance costs. And then not only the ongoing maintenance costs like landscaping, but there's also the costs around maintaining the home, putting on a new roof, what have you. So an argument can be made that it used to be the American dream to own a home because you'd be able to, over time, appreciate that asset and then have that lump sum, if you will, at the end.
Right.
Now you can look at it more like, well, what if I rented, reduced all those variable costs, maintenance, taxes, HOA fees, and put that into the market? There's a chance that, and I'm not saying like, I'm not giving you like a financial plan here, but there's a chance that renting and stowing away cash in a portfolio might be more advantageous than buying a home.
So you obviously could free up all that cash flow by renting and putting it into the market, but that's a huge risk. It's almost like when people call me asking to take out should they take out a home equity line of credit to invest in the market? So that's definitely a different idea. But really renting is just about freedom from maintenance costs. It's about freedom from being locked down to any one area. But it's also, unfortunate that if you rent, you're not going to accumulate that equity. And so because there's longevity, people are living much longer. It may benefit you if you believe you're going to stay in the same place for an extended period of time to purchase. But now it's just so different because home prices are so much higher than they were. I was lucky enough to be able to buy, a couple of houses 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and you're in good shape. But now I read a stat that in 40% of the cities in the United States, it's cheaper to rent than to own a home. So like you said, no one size fits all. You have to really consider the costs, how long you're going to be in that area, and really your comfort level of owning a home or renting instead.
That's very helpful. And I get that there's totally risks involved. And so it does boil down to a bit of comfort and lifestyle, right? On the topic of comfort, let's shift gears just a little bit and talking about paying off a mortgage early, right? So let's talk about someone who has purchased a home and they've kind of made, they've made a certain amount of payments or whatever it is, years or what have you. And they either have a lump sum of cash or they have a nice cash balance where they want to pay it off. What considerations should they make before paying off early?
Sure. Well, the biggest one is what your mortgage interest rate is. That's always the first go-to. If it's 4% or less, it would be hard for me to recommend paying down the mortgage because hopefully you could get at least 5% on a 60-40 balanced portfolio over an extended period of time. So that's one consideration. Another smaller consideration would be whether you itemized on your taxes or not. Not as many people itemize these days as they used to because the standard deductions have gone up so much. And now with the new legislation, standard deductions have gone up even more.
Sure.
So whether it helps you with taxes is another consideration of whether to pay down the mortgage or not. You also want to consider emotions. It's not just a financial situation, it's an emotional situation as well. If you're about to enter retirement, some people just feel comfortable not having the debt. They want to free up their cash flow. On average, they can free up 30% of their retirement cash flow by paying off their mortgage, but they just have to be very, very careful not to deplete all their savings. Doing that, they always have to make sure and leave a cushion.